Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I got to tell you, uh, you all are my witness. Last week, I was joking around and I said, Trump said parts unknown again. I have to talk to him because these people aren't coming from my parts unknown. Uh, he's talking about the immigrants. I said, I wish he'd change that so people won't get confused, but I guarantee you they're not coming from my parts unknown. And I don't know if you all caught it today. I guess he got my message. I call the bat phone and leave a message on the machine there. And he came up with places unknown. I said, "Oh, good. I'm glad he decided to straighten that out." So, just so you all know, the connection's still strong. Now I'm on a different platform. If it sounds like I got a lisp, okay, or like they say on Midas Trash Network, if I'm talking like Daffy Duck, you'll know what it's cyber tampering. You know what's going on. Hi, Diane. Hi, Raven's Wings. Sissy, Debbie, Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you all. Elohim Ambassador, how you doing? I'll just call you the ambassador. Gloria, Sherry, nice to see you all. Miss Mendersu, I want to thank you for helping support the channel last night. I don't know why I didn't get a notification pop up on my screen till after the broadcast. So you and Tennessee, I'll wait till he gets in. But I wanted to thank you and Gary and Tennessee for helping support the broadcast last night on Buy Me a Coffee. I want to make sure you knew that I saw that come through. So let's see. Yeah, let me see. I got it. Miss Sue left me a message and said, "Keep on going." Where is it? Right here. Doesn't tell me the time. But hello, Mountain Man. Keep going. We're listening. And Tennessee said, "Making sure your channel stays. Love the info you're putting out." So that was from Tennessee. And Gary, he gave a generous amount of coffee to old Mountain Man last night. So anyway, it came out that there was, now they say it's the microphone. He had it on his lapel. You saw it with, maybe you saw it with a little red light on it. And Trump put out a audio that was taken without going through the filter of that mic. And it, there wasn't the same amount of distortion to his voice, and he just said, "Enjoy this re-release," without having that controversial problem with the S's. So, man, I tell you, all the shills were putting out these videos, not focusing on a damn thing. Mr. T was saying, using terms like Daffy Duck. Oh, he needs to have a medical exam. He's slurring his words like a drunk and all this kind of crazy stuff. I just give them, if I could, the cyber finger, okay? Because I'm not convinced that there wasn't some cyber tampering. You all remember Kirsten W., the young lady that passed away. Now, she was from Singapore, wasn't she? I think her mother was, no, her mother and father were from Singapore. And she used to get into, some stuff about Bitcoin mining under the dam in China and things like that I thought were a little bit of a stretch, but she was definitely on to the satanic origins of this cabal we're dealing with. Now, not everybody that is serving that master know that is their master, but they are inclined to being destructive and anti-constitutional because they're easily swayed with their own arrogance, like Mr. Walls. Okay, mind your own damn business. So, yeah, I put a picture of him and Ilhan Omar because there's a symbol right there. That picture is a symbolic of two forces that we're struggling with right now. The traditional American culture and the preservation of the Constitution as it is intent, the spirit of the document. Two of the biggest problems we have, and they're the same suit, different bow tie, is Islamist extremism and Marxism. There's very little difference between the two of them. And I have to get that book out I referenced years ago, 2 years ago when I first started my broadcast. So it was an autobiography of Adolf. And it said a communication from the foreign minister at the time, von Ribbentrop. He met a long drop with a short rope fate at Nuremberg, but he wrote a diplomatic missive to Stalin. Actually, it was Molotov, I think, was the ambassador he was dealing with. I'll get it out of the book. But he said, basically, we have the same philosophy. Nazis, okay, and the Bolshevik, Soviet, communist philosophies were basically the same. Well, you can put that category, the same thing, in with the radical Islam. So, Ian, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yvonne, nice to see you. Lucy. Everybody's rolling in. Yeah, smash that like, Ambassador says. I got a godfather I haven't seen in a while. Now I got an ambassador. Gary's chairman of the board. Haha, Rockin' Robin, she's a founder. I got to write down some of these people. But anyway. So, so that's why I got that picture up there. Marjorie Taylor Greene put out it was either a truth or a X, I guess I got to say X, about how quickly, 5 minutes her votes were counted. And I'm talking about Ilhan Omar, and nobody is saying a thing. And it's crooked as a dog's hind leg up there in Minnesota. There's no doubt about it. But she's in a heavily leveraged with Somali immigrants, and word on the street has been for a long time that a lot of them just surrender their piece of paper to somebody else, okay, because they're getting menaced by members of the community. Especially the ones that get like 10 or 15 bucks for every one they bring in, and they pre-fill them. It's like a mini mafia, Somali mafia going on in Minnesota. But anyway, nobody in the fake MSM is reporting this. This is from Marjorie Taylor Greene. How does Ilhan Omar's race go from 5% to 99% in 13 minutes? 13 minutes. And then End Wokeness also put a graph up. I'll get, when I get to that in my studio, I'll read that off to you. But every little nook and cranny they can get an advantage, they're crawling in every nook and cranny. But probably the biggest thing is the orchestration, undeniable it's unavoidable to be able to see the orchestration of the mainstream media. And ain't it funny? Ain't it funny how just yet last night, 24 hours ago, and you all are my witness, just like parts of an unknown being switched to places unknown, and many other little things we've seen in the past, that I put up a something from the letter, okay, 17, right? And what did it show you? The connections between Goggle and Utizzle, right? And 23andMe, which gathers people's DNA. That's something even deeper we're going to find out stuff about. Especially since they're saying there's a new strain of Mpox. Okay, you guys know what that is, as do monkeys, supposedly. That's what they call it, pox. So here we go again. Here we go again. Is Timid Timmy gonna light people up on their front porch with paintball guns again? Is that what's going to happen? So everybody too scared to go out? Go home, stay home, be safe. Remember that gross? You knew what you're dealing with when you go to hang up phone. Somebody say, "Be safe." Yeah, be safe. You know, not all of them, because some of them were my friends, but a lot of them knew that this whole thing, a good portion, was to create an atmosphere where they could take advantage of people staying home to skew the results. They had to know it. That's why they were all in on it. So here we're going to go with that stuff again. But I bring up Goggle. All right. I show you a picture of the founder of Goggle, married to, okay, the chairman or CEO of Utizzle, married to her sister. And then I said last night, keep an eye on this business of them changing news headlines and manipulating searches. I said it's going to turn into a big deal. This morning, Mr. T posts about that, exactly that, the Harris campaign. They couldn't, I'll answer this question. How could they do it without the help of Goggle? That's what I want to know. They can't, in my book, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I'm getting a message from somebody on. Oh, okay, it's Rumble. Okay, I'm not broadcasting simultaneously on Rumble, but they're trying to send me some manner of message. I'll get to them later. Hi, Wanda, how you doing? Nice to see you, Lone Wolf. How are you, Roland? Roland does not comply. Period. I was going to ask you a question, Roland. We'll get back to this Goggle and Utizzle and all this sneaky DNA stuff they had going. 23andMe was collecting so much DNA, and it all goes into a central database. And keep in mind that Russia had put before the UN over a year ago, where they had from the laboratories they had gotten hold of in Ukrizzle, that they were using DNA samples to categorize people and tailor make illnesses that would affect one gene sequence more than another. Isn't that something? In other words, they could target ethnicities. So a lot of people doing that 23andMe and Ancestry.com and all this kind of stuff, trying to find out mama's baby, daddy's maybe, or whatever. They were giving a lot of information to these people who don't even like the fact that more people are coming onto this earth every day. But I have a question about this, what do they call it? Stripe. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Stripe, STRIPE. That is a banking system. And I know that I was reading the Russian news a year and a half ago, and my dusty memory recalls that Stripe was an issue. It was used, that banking system was used to assist in the confiscation of property for Russian citizens, to support the sanctions that were put on Russia by the European Union and others, and that Russia went to another type of banking system, which is prevalent in East Asia, I guess Eastern Europe, and the other half, how the other half lives. So I know Stripe was an issue, but was Stripe, and that's what I'm asking you, Roland, if you don't know, I understand, because I don't know. Was Stripe involved with the causing problems for the truckers with their bank accounts in seizing their money? And was Stripe involved in hampering and shutting down certain GoFundMe accounts? And I don't know if Give, Send, Go, is that the one that's run by Christians and is not affiliated with Stripe? And I get to a certain point, I'll tell you why I'm asking that question. Let's see. But Stripe runs 100 countries. They have pretty much total control of 100 countries' banking systems is Stripe. Hi, Tennessee. I thanked you earlier for helping out with the channel last night. I didn't see the notification until after I tuned out. And you, Miss Mindersu, and before that, Gary helped out with last night's program. I thank you so much. So Roland said, yes, Stripe was involved with messing with the Canadian truckers. I have to do a little more research on that, and I have to find out if they messed with GoFundMe, because people were saying Corey's family, the young man that lost his life on the 13th of last month, that they were disappointed that the family went with GoFundMe because of their involvement with the messing with the Canadian truckers, cooperating supposedly, but I don't think they had a choice if they were in the Stripe banking system. And a lot of people said go to Give, Send, Go, because that was Christian based and they would not cooperate with the Canadian government. But I don't see how they can't unless they're on the other banking system with bricks and all that stuff. Yeah, Ravenswing, Stripe, central banking is all connected. So I don't know if Give, Send, Go is in the more BRICS-centric rather than the regular pack of criminals. Just something cooking on the stove we got to keep an eye on, because there's going to be a little collision course coming. Apparently the two systems can cooperate with one another, but Stripe does not have the power to go into, I'll have to see the name of this other banking system. They don't have the authority to go in there and piddle with people's stuff. They can only do transfers, okay, send money or get money, but they can't go in there and screw with the money because it's coming to be an issue. Right, Roland, Christian is give, send, go, but are they on the Stripe system? Hi, Tara, Montana is here. Hit the like button. I thank everybody who tunes in after the live stream. If you think about it, hit the like button for me. It helps the video to get around. And everybody that's here today, I don't want to slur my words. Everybody's saying I talk like Daffy Duck or I belong in the nursing home. Oh, they are unscribing you, hey, Raven's Wings? I'm sure they are. Just like I've said many times, the natural growth of a channel does not support what's been happening to me. I got another post I see from Libs of TikTok. Did you know that someone broke into a Trump campaign office in Ashburn, Virginia? He still hadn't been found, and he left with a stuffed bag. How is this not front page news everywhere? And I'm looking at a picture of the guy. They got a perfect picture of his face and him walking out with a knapsack packed full of stuff. A campaign office. What is that? I'm scratching my head here. I'm thinking, what broke in to a campaign office and left with a bag full of stuff? Isn't that what happened in Watergate? Isn't that what brought down a presidency? Richard Milhouse Nixon? Yeah. Yeah, but the same clowns we're watching on TV, what's their name? They're old now. Woodward and Bernstein. Pages and pages and pages of reports, of rumors, of gossip, of crap, week after week after week, pages and pages and pages about Nixon, about that damn stupid ass break-in. And now here you got one that happened. We got it on video and nobody's, not a peep. As a matter of fact, they put a bullet through Mr. T's ear and they're hiding that. Cyber tampering. They're getting in there and they're messing with the algorithm. And, you know, if you do go into the 17th letter just for recreational investigations, that's what I call it. Look up F5. Okay, F5. The letter F and the number 5. What is that? Without checking, does anybody off the top of their head know what F5 stand for? Ha ha ha. Just playing around, just a little game, because we're getting down to where this stuff is starting to become, it doesn't seem, or didn't seem important at the time, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Now it's starting to come to the fore. Had to have a sip of my coffee. That's right, Miss Mendersue. WandaGate is P3DO gate, because what we found out many, many, many years later is what they were trying to retrieve from that office. It a fateful day. What was it, 1971 or 72? Was tapes, film. Instead of the way they do stuff now electronically, they had actual tapes. Bribery tapes, that's where they kept them. So now I'm seeing if anybody knows what F5 is. Well, that is one thing. I think it's Tracy's a maximum. Avalanche is D5, I think. F5 would be tornado, but it is an acronym given for a certain cyber term. and it has to do with a DA and an RPA. And I think it has a role to play in every little thing, from how many views I get to what comes up on a Goggle search and what gets put on the top list of what is being searched. It's called the F5 algorithm, and it's mentioned several times in the 17th letter. And what is the question is what that they ask in the comms. What is the F5 algorithm? Who designed it? Okay, who controls it? And I believe it is the basis, the cornerstone, this main structure for everything that I just discussed, but also what they used in 2016 with Hillary. They used an algo, and then the other half is rhythm to switch VOTESs, right? They used an algorithm, and it's called the FBI algorithm. The F5 algorithm. So yeah, if you want to have a little fun checking that out, because I've been meaning to mention a certain person who I haven't heard a lot from, and I have to check what's going on with him. A Republican, a very nice man. And I think the last time he made headlines that I recall, national headlines, or videos in the genre which we're involved with right now, he was discussing something. And his name is Louis Gohmert. Y'all remember Louis Gohmert? And do y'all remember what he discussed? And then all of a sudden, you know, he didn't look stressed out. He didn't look mad. He kind of looked happy. He was talking about it. And then you hadn't heard much out of him, just like we haven't heard much out of Jeff Sessions anymore. But we know he's still around. And when he was talking about stuff, he had a kind of impish little smile too. Do you remember what Louis Gohmert was talking about? Because it's going to come back up. And I'll say, you all are my witness. I discussed this at a certain time in my broadcast. All right, you got slapped a share on X. Raven's Wings, cool. Ian says Zuck. No, he wasn't talking about Zuck. Oh, you think Zuckerberg came up with the F5? I believe it's out of CHYNA. Controlled by CHYNA right now, but I think it was developed by DAR and then PA. But anyway, Louis Gohmert was talking about something. I'll see if anybody gets it. Yeah, Wanda, what have you heard out of Louis Gohmert? I mean, in over a year or more. You know, little local stuff or general comments. What he talked about was the raid in Germany, the C.I.A. compound. Okay, talked about that there was a firefight in Germany over the Seidel, and I got to break it up when I say it, servers. Okay. And that all ties back into the F5 algorithm, because here they're going to use it again. They have to. behind the scenes, they're admitting defeat in the internal polls. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's even on CNN, when they were going over the polls, they were admitting that Trump's strength is underrepresented right now and always has been in past elections, underrepresented 5 to 9 points. But that having been said, they're showing Kamala up by 0.6%, 0.4%, 1.1%. But on the other side of their mouth, I guess, so they can say, well, we weren't misleading people because we mentioned one time that Trump is underrepresented in the polls, in case they get caught. Yeah, I saw that, Miss Bender Sue. What state was that in? Getting more of them every day. It's going to keep on keeping on too. They're going to do whatever it takes. I mean, even to be so bold, if you were standing there with a $20 bill in your hand, they come up and snatch it right out of your fingers, cram it in their pockets, and you say to them, look them right in the eye and say, hey, you just took my 20. They go, no, I didn't. And look at their friend standing next to them. No, I didn't, did I? And the friend will go, no, he didn't. And then he's got a friend behind him, did he? No, he didn't. And the one behind you, he did not. All of them be saying that he did not. And you know it. You know it. It was your 20 and he took it. No, I didn't. They'll go that far. They're at that point now where they look ridiculous and asinine, except to a core group of people with very low IQ or low self-esteem, or those that have submersed themselves in Schadenfreude. I've discussed that in the past too. You got anybody who exhibits Schadenfreude to any significant level? Work on distancing yourself from them and maybe buy them a Bible or something like that. So anyway, let me see. So we'll see if anybody gets caught. Now, I tell you, I watched some guys called Jeff Ostroff. Jeff Ostroff on YouTube. And he put up a collection of footage about the attempt on Mr. T, where this one guy, and he mentions the name of the person, who put up a drone and went over every inch of all the roofs that this character was running across. And also overlapping body cams and dash cams of the attempt on Mr. T. And it shows this one sharpshooter for the state that his first name is Greg. Let me see if I got his last name. Greg Nicole. And if you want to watch that video, they say it's a suspicious timeline. Very odd what his behaviors were at the time. And it answers a lot of questions and debunks a lot of stuff. Gives you a clear head as to what that timeline actually was. And Trump talked about distances, and he confirmed what was said at the very beginning. We've heard different distances about the main shooter. It's Trump is at 130 yards. That's what I was saying. Like the day of the attempt on his life, That was the first report I got. That turns out to be accurate. Now the second one, the Secret Service agent that actually got him was also at a little bit less than 400 yards. We've not got, now that is a tough shot to make. It's not, I wouldn't go so far as to say a miracle shot, but you definitely got to know what you're doing from 400 yards out. But over 400, I'm rolling. Yeah, that's a good little piece of work there. But anyway, if you all want to get more into that, this guy is all one word, Jeff O. Stroff, Stroff. And his last video that I saw was about Officer Greg Nicole, and shows those overlapping body cams, dash cams, cell phone videos, and drone footage. So to get a bigger understanding of what's going on with that. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Hi, Doc. Nice to see you. Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? So I'm just looking through the chats. Oh, all right. I got to take the pups out. Yeah, I got to take care of them. That's for sure. But anyway, did you hear about the Taliban had a big military parade showing off all the stuff they got? The $80-some billion. Now you know why Kamala is stalling about doing the debate and is angling for only having the one debate with ABC News, because they're going to protect her from all these issues. I mean, Afghanistan was bad enough, but it's one of many things. But Colin Rugg put out, new, the Taliban held a military parade at Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan with the U.S. military equipment they stole after the disastrous Biden-Harris withdrawal. The Taliban was celebrating the third anniversary of taking over the former U.S. airbase as they trolled the U.S. with some of the $85 billion in military equipment. And remember, the $85 billion in military equipment doesn't touch the cost of that airbase. We built that thing from scratch, from the ground up. It's a multi-billion-dollar facility strategically located near China's nuclear facilities. So, and missile factories. So anyway, and he goes on to say, a quote, the Islamic Empire eliminated internal differences and expanded the scope of unity and cooperation in the country, said Deputy Prime Minister Malvi Abdul Kabir. No one will be allowed to interfere in the internal affairs, and Afghanistan soil will not be used against any country. Okay, well, that's, if what they're saying is true, that's fine. They're going to mind their own damn business. That's fine. But Mr. T's going to want that base back. My chats are froze. Come on. Where's my chats? I hate that. Am I being cyber tampered? My chats are froze. I got another notification up here. Oh, somebody followed me on Truth. Huh, I don't know what's going on. I'll see my chats unfreeze here in a minute. I hope you all can hear me. Now, this business of Kamala, where in the world? There we go. You know, Chinese attended the parade. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, I don't know if we can get everything back, Miss Minder Sue. They gave back. The dogs are probably finished, trained. A lot of the very expensive but smaller stuff like the night vision goggles and I don't even know how many really military grade weapons as far as firearms. I mean, hundreds of thousands. There we go. Ah, yeah, you all can hear me. Great. So anyway, Kamala Harris's campaign team is editing news headlines in her favor without outlets' knowledge. This is a report from the New York Post. So it's getting around. Let's see how many legs it gets. One example is AP News reportedly, according to the Harris campaign, put out a article that says VP Harris's economic vision, lower costs and higher wages. And then NPR, we all know what NPR is worth. National Public Radio, another Marxist organization right there with the National Archives. They supposedly said that Trump will, quote, terminate the ACA, Affordable Care Act, and Harris will lower health costs. But reportedly, both these articles are fraudulent. And just like Mr. T put out, is this legal that they're doing this? Here we go. And Wokeness put out Minnesota District 5. 8 p.m. the polls closed. The polls closed at 8 p.m. 8:15 p.m. 0% counted. 8:30 p.m. 0% counted. 8:45 0% counted. 9 p.m. an hour later 0% counted. 20 minutes after that 5% counted. And then at 9:37 p.m. 99.5% counted. In a 5-minute period, totally 100% legitimate, nothing suspicious. Congratulations to Ilhan Omar, who's somebody who should be deported anyway, stripped of their citizenship and deported. Oh, if I said that, you know, if I went to France, they would pick me up. If I went to the UK, they would pick me up for saying that. You all saw the video I played last night. A guy, all he said was, I don't want my tax money going to people that, and he described brutal things to little girls. And that got him 20 months in jail. Justin, this is ABC News, and we went over that last night. ABC News, the subsidiary of Disney, and all the crap they've been involved in. Justin, the World Health Organization has declared Mpox to be a public health emergency of international concern as a new strain spreads in Africa. In the U.S., there have been 1,594 cases of Mpox reported so far this year, according to data from the CDC. I wonder where they were, probably in the bathhouses there in California. Did you all get to see Mr. T? You know, today he was in North Carolina. And I forgot to mention one of his earlier rallies. He said something that made my antennas go up, and I was wondering if you all caught it. And why do you think he said it? He said Joe got forced out, right? He's been saying that. He said it again today. He said they threatened him with the 25th Amendment. He mentioned that today. He also said that Kamala helped defraud the American people by helping hide his condition. They all knew about his condition. Now we knew that, but hey, hopefully there's a considerable number of millions now tuning in to hear what he wants to say after the Aiden interview and the Elon interview. But a couple of rallies ago, he was talking about Joe, and he said it was the first time in American history that there was a coup. Did you all catch that? I heard it for sure. I'm positive. I listened to it twice. I'm wondering if you all caught that too. Please let me know in the chats if you're in agreement with what I'm saying Mr. T said. Why do you think he said it? If you're in agreement with me that he did say it. Now I could go back and get a clip, but I you have to believe me. He said first time in American history that the office of the presidency suffered a coup. Pappy said, "Yeah, I heard it." Raven said, "Yep." Lone Wolf said, "Yep." Well, that's very interesting because a book was written about Richard Nixon's silent coup. And a lot of us feel what happened with Mr. T, or a lot of us know what happened with Mr. T twice. At his transfer of power when he first won, okay, they crippled his presidency through spying and misinformation and repeated impeachments. And then when he didn't take office again in 2021, okay, that was a coup. Yvonne heard it, Wanda heard it, everybody heard it. I'm just wondering why he said that. It's not the first time there was a coup. When they shot JFK, it was a coup. Okay, did he bring it up to get the conversation going? Because you know how they try to pick up on everything they say he says is inaccurate. They harp on it, they harp on it, and they harp on it. It's pretty much common knowledge now that JFK was taken out by our own government. You can't get any bigger of a coup than that. In front of everybody to pew pew a sitting president. But they don't dare mention it, do they? And I'm remiss myself because I didn't repeat it and get the conversation going. Well, you have a good night too, Hebrew Hammer. I'm remiss myself. And I will say, though, I thought maybe Elon would have brought it up during the conversation. I was hoping there were so many things they would bring up. And they did talk about a lot of things, but they had to start out kind of like at a fifth grade level of issues to get buzzing going, to get people involved. And they touched up on about every big topic without getting into conspiracies. Oh, Sissy said you're going to be a super spreader. You talking about the Dem convention? The Democratic National Convention? Is Joe going to try to make a comeback? Did you all see his press conference today? Joe's press conference. Did it look to you like Joe was trying to put up a competent face, a capable performance for maybe a return? Because Mr. T's been saying, he hadn't said it this last couple of performances, rallies, and interviews. I think he did say it during Elon's. New York City migrant crisis will crack eye-popping $5 billion on shelters, security, and food. And by 2025, which means what? 6 months from now, 5 months from now, it could double. And that's the responsibility of the city, $5 billion. Oh, he's going to have to pick a new running mate, Sissy. That's what I was talking about a couple of broadcasts ago. If Joe wants back in and gets back in, Kamala's done. This might have been a way to get rid of her. Because they were talking about they needed to get rid of her. Maybe this was an op to get rid of her. Trump said she hadn't laughed. He said it's a smart move not to laugh because that is an insane, crazy person laugh. That's what I was saying, Miss Sue. Look out for the Hildebeest. Joe and the Hildebeest. And I said it would bring down the house if he came back in, because the rumors had it that both the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, were pushing Joe and Jill to stay in. And the other camp was supposedly led by Obama and the likes of Clooney and what's that creep's name? They called him Lizard Head. I forget his name. James Carville. That side of the Democrat fence was trying to get rid of Joe. That's what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer were with. And I swear, these people are so mush-brained. And if Kamala keeps ducking interviews, you've got CNN scolding her for not giving interviews. They got what can they do? They don't want to interview Trump, so they just keep up with the same old crap day after day, talking smack about Trump. That's getting old. They can't interview Harris because she's petrified of being asked questions. What are they going to do? They got to move the ball somehow as a news organization. So even they're coming out saying, hey, give us something. So if that picks up steam and this glow they've put on Kamala starts to wear off and people start getting nervous again in the Democrat Party, Bitcoin keeps going up because they feel good about Trump getting in. I think all it would take would be so easy for Joe to say, you know, I had a bad night that night. You saw me my last press conference. I told everybody we're going to have a soft landing on this economy and start reporting it that way. And I laid into Trump and I was perfectly clear in my positions. I've got the experience and I've decided that I'm going to go with the best backup a man can have. Someone who's worked hand in hand with Barack Hussein Obama, somebody who's been Secretary of State, who spent 16 years in the White House standing like a rock beside her husband, former President William Jefferson Clinton. I want you all to nominate myself and Hillary Rodham Clinton. She comes out of the curtain with her hands in the air and a big smile on her face. They would stab Kamala in the back so damn fast, she would know what hit her. And her political career would be over. These people and their voters live in fantasy world. And then she'd get up there and say, I'm going to get Donald Trump. I won the 2016 election and he knows it. And now it's time. No, they still wouldn't beat Trump. That's right, Roland. But it sure would screw. They know they're seeing the internal polls just like Trump is. He was very comfortable today. He's, about his lead in the polls, the sense of where the country is. The mainstream media is getting tired of holding up this falsehood with Kamala hiding. The Tim Walsh thing is snowballing. There's more questions about his China business, about him being in tight with this Muslim cleric. He's as radical and anti-American as you can get next to being Kamala Harris. Well, he's probably worse than her because he's not as dumb as she is. Well, y'all, on a lighter note, I'll get back to this politics in a bit, but if you get a chance, get you a bag of Famous Amos cookies. I like chocolate chip. Did you all hear he passed away today? Famous Amos cookies, 88 years old. And I'm going to get me a bag of Famous Amos cookies because I like them. Wally Amos Jr., the founder of Famous Amos Cookies, has passed away. His family announced Wednesday. He was 88 years old. And when all this stuff was going, taking Aunt Jemima off and Uncle Ben and all this stuff, I noticed they didn't mess with Famous Amos because that was his name, Amos. He's still alive. And yes, he's a black man. And no, they're not going to take his picture or his name off of his cookies. So anyway, I'm going to get me a big cold glass of milk and a bag of Famous Amos cookies and salute Famous Amos and have me some cookies. Chocolate chip. That's the ones I like. But I didn't know if you all knew that. American cultural icon, as far as I'm concerned. And back to this mainstream media business that they can't keep carrying this water. The bucket is leaking with the mainstream media. They're trying to carry the water. It's leaking out of the ground and it's springing more leaks every day. Did you all see that lady on MSNBC, the real nasty so-called news service with Rachel Madcow? There's a lady that was on a voter panel, and I could have got a clip of it yesterday and played it yesterday, but I would never get up if I editing and copying all these clips. But she was very genuine and talking about, and I'm surprised they didn't just not show the clip. Just don't show the clip. But it's so damaging to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The fact that they played the clip tells me right there, something is going on. She said that the economy is horrible. She said they're unaliving us, and that means the KI and then double L word. She said, I'll say it one time. She said they're killing us without killing us. I said it twice. I don't know how much trouble I'll get in. That's what she said they are doing. You can't afford to go to work. You can't afford your groceries. You got a choice between your electric bill and what you're going to put in your belly. She might not put it that way, but she was genuine, and she was reflecting what tens of millions of people are going through in this country. And what gets me is that they actually played that. Any other time, MSNBC would just say, oh, we edited that out because we didn't have, or we didn't play that segment about the voter panel. Are they being forced to put up real events of human interest and reality concerning the economic condition of the country, voter attitudes, and she was a black person. And she wasn't mean about it. She was sad. She was crying. That type of stuff is tremendously damaged. Well, her eyes were watering. I'll put it that way. I got a stray article up here. I can't see the whole thing, but Joe Rogan suing somebody for $30 million. I forgot who it was. Joe Rogan suing somebody for $30 million. Who was that? Another one that I was going to talk about last night with all these lawsuits that are going to start coming out. Because I said in the past, 11.4 laws of the United States, libel laws are very powerful. The 17th letter, put in just one word, libel, L-I-B-E-L, and enjoy yourself reading the posts. And you're starting to see where these lawsuits are coming out, big lawsuits. They set the table, they set the precedent with what they did to Alex Jones, $1 billion judgment. And then they put that cherry on top by sitting here trying to fine Trump for $500 million almost. And with E. Jean Carroll, close to $100 million. 7 million plus 87 million or something like that. They set the precedent for them, their feathers to get plucked. So good luck to Joe Rogan. Even though he's a blockhead, he's coming around a little bit. Even though he stepped in it when he sounded like he wasn't endorsing Trump. And then Trump said, well, we'll see. We'll see how they treat Joe Rogan when he comes to the next fight event. And he backed off real quick. Trump put out a truth, said, my conversation with Elon the other night was heard by a record audience and was really something special. As Elon himself is very special. And I thank him for such a strong endorsement. Unfortunately, because of the complexity of modern day equipment and cell phone technology, my voice was, in certain areas, somewhat different and strange. Therefore, we have put out an actual and perfect recording of the conversation. Enjoy. So that's good. It's a way of setting the record straight. Hi, Bill. How you doing? KNS, how you doing? Well, Lone Wolf says that it looks like they're being made to do it. That's what I think. Truth and Reconciliation Act. I heard a while back that while they the White Hats, okay, have control of some, not all. Yeah, it's getting there. And the rest of these lawsuits are going to pound the other ones in line. Pound them in line. So, I was talking about word on the street about Elon possibly buying Disney. That sprouted out of a story that is true and verifiable and actually happening, which is where Elon Musk is backing and joined with a major lawsuit of Disney for discrimination in their DEI policies. And what is that actress's name? Gina Carano. Okay. There was a big ruling where Disney tried to have the case thrown out and they were denied. It was, according to Gina Carano, a very emotional moment. She was ecstatic, overcome, and Elon put a post out that said the discovery in this case was going to destroy or seriously harm Disney, is what Elon put out. I put the communication out on the past broadcasts. Well, what happened now? What I heard, Disney has been hacked. Hackers reportedly had inside help. Oh, wait a minute. What are we talking about here? They're a victim, like the DNC got hacked? I don't know. Massive data threat. No, massive data theft. 1 terabyte stolen. Some of you may know what a terabyte is. Allegedly an inside job by hackers. So somebody got into Disney's mainframe and got a terabyte of information, presumably, or their fear is internal communications, okay, emails, policies, memos, strategies, spending, because there have been past accusations and suspicions of international money laundering, all kinds of stuff going on. So what is the deal with this? What if the depositions they're prepared to give may have, in some cases, already given, some responded to discovery in some way, conflict with what is gotten out of by these hackers? Or is it a hoax? Is it like the DNC said they were hacked, but then they never were CrowdStrike and all that crap? But what if there's some conflict between what has been presented to a court as true, and then it turns out it was fraudulent? I don't know. This is going to be another huge drama. But what's it going to do to the value of the company? Remember the name, of course, you'll always remember Elon Musk. But Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter, I talked about those three. Disney gets bought out. You want to talk about the you-know-what hitting the fan for ABC and all of them. Well, I heard, Roland, that Ike Perlmutter or Nelson Peltz said they were going to get back in when it gets down to $65 or $75 a share. They're going to, and what they mean, what a lot of people think they mean by getting back in, means a hostile takeover. That they have got enough financial backing, if it gets down that low, that they'll just take over the company, Bob Iger is out. Remember what Elon Musk told Bob Iger? F you. Did you hear me? F you. Bob Iger's out, and Elon Musk will have purchased another crime scene. Another crime scene. Can you imagine when people are in control of a company that huge, and we know they have predilections, okay, for grotesque behavior, and inverted behavior. They're hubris, okay? Just like that one employee of Elon Musk was sending those nasty grams back and forth about young ones. He didn't think anybody would ever find out. God knows what they'll get out of Disney if they do a hostile takeover and get access to everything. Because at some point, Elon, with his experience and knowledge, plus the fact that I feel is a fact that he is being backed by the Department of Defense and military intelligence, because we've been told by Kash Patel that Elon Musk is the highest paid defense contractor in U.S. history. Part of those expenditures are to reclaim things of cultural importance, free speech importance, and get it out of the hands of a cabal and foreign interests, what they refer to as non-government organizations, break the DEI system apart, and a lot of people are going to go to jail when those internal emails are read, when they trace what happened to the money, investors' money. It's not the company's money. It's everybody who buys into the stock. Well, there's a lot of hackers, Debbie, not just one. Now we got one that's supposedly in retirement. That would be, you all know his name. Wiki and then leaks. Julian Assange. Maybe he's back at it again. Can you imagine him just sitting home twiddling his thumbs? I can't. He may, or his organization might be the ones that got into Disney. So they're going to have to be on the up and up. Well, here's something to keep an eye on. I don't know if this is a diversion or what, but Germany has issued an arrest warrant. And no, it's not for a meme. Okay. Germany has issued an arrest warrant for a Ukrainian diving instructor, Vladimir Z, suspected of involvement in the Nord Stream bombings. This was reported by the Süddeutsche Zeitung and a couple other papers, which conducted a joint investigation. So they got a suspect. A total of 3 Ukrainian instructors are suspected of having attached explosives to Russian gas pipelines, according to investigators. All 3 have already left Germany. There were a total of 6 people on the yacht where the bombing team was believed to be located. 5 men and 1 woman. Apparently, they know who all these people are. Vladimir lives in Poland. He denies an involvement Warsaw took no action after the warrant was issued in June, and now the case has become a, quote, political issue because Poland building a pipeline was considered a sin, and a suspect in sabotage would be considered a hero. So they're insinuating that Poland is sheltering these individuals who conducted the Nord Stream sabotage, if that's actually who did it. Oh my goodness. Germany's support for Ukraine will remain unchanged no matter what the results of the investigation into the explosion of Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines, the German government spokesman Wolfgang said. Wolfgang, what's his name? Wolfgang Buschner said on Wednesday, "These are two different things that have nothing to do with each other," he was quoted as saying. So they're still going to support Ukraine even though they have evidence of Ukrainians blowing up their own damn gas line. Well, one that was servicing them. All right, Ambassador. Oh, man, I hope you get your battery charged back up. So anyway, I was going, because I was looking at pictures they're sending out of what's happening to these. They're going on a counteroffensive on this, where the Ukrainians have invaded the Kursk area. And yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Ukrainians, it says here, these Ukrainians were heading to the Kursk region, hoping for a quick and easy breakthrough, but now they have fertilized Russian land with their bodies. And these are things I, can't put up, showing a different assault group being taken out, which town they were in. And one of the people captured has given a description of their part of the mission. This guy's name is Alodinov. States that the details of the operation of Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region have been received. The Ukrainian armed forces were supposed to take the nuclear power plant in Kurchatov on August 11th. Now that is another power plant, a nuclear power plant that's different from one that got bombed. So they're supposed to seize this power plant on August 11th. After this, according to him, Kiev planned to enter negotiations with Russia and present an ultimatum. The Ukrainian armed forces failed to complete the mission. Most of the enemy's equipment have already been destroyed. They do not control Sudza, which is near that area where the nuclear facilities are. The Russians are in control of that town, and there are clashes daily there. So they're still trying to get a hold of this nuclear facility and use it as a bargaining chip. But it's falling apart. They got a picture here, the first picture of an American-made Stryker armored personnel carrier in the hands of the Russian military. It looks brand new. I'm sitting there looking at it. They're driving it up the street with the hatches open. There isn't any mud or dirt on the thing. How much is that? My God, Elon and Trump couldn't get into the massive amount of money that is being frittered away People don't have a concept of it anymore. It's like a friend of mine said about 15 years ago. He said, and he's very intelligent. He's a wealthy guy. He owns a factory and a bunch of all kinds of properties, multimillionaire. He just says, I can't get my head around the money, the explosion of money that's been going on in Washington. That was 15 years ago. But just as one striker, and how much money we frittered away in Ukraine and how much was pissed away in Afghanistan, even more valuable than that, the human lives, American lives that have been lost, how much money we're pouring into campaigns to try to get Mr. T over the finish line. This business of them taking Kennedy off the New York ballot with this BS concerns about his residence. He said it was going to cost him $10 million in legal fees. That's just one side campaign, one side issue, one stink bomb of lawfare thrown into one campaign is $10 million. All these people jumping up and down and squawking for Joe and squawking for Kamala, all with their hands out, all wanting free crap. They have no idea. Like Trump was saying, the McKinley administration did not even need to tax the American people. We did not have personal tax on American people, any citizen, for 150 years because there's so many ways for the American government to fund itself without the confiscatory, menacing, and hostile entity known as the IRS that can destroy a person's life with the snap of a finger. That's what he's trying to communicate to people. Just in the last 3.5 years of the Biden administration, there has been so much money pissed away. People have no concept. Lone Wolf, yeah, I've got pictures of, all the Vietnam type pictures where I get on Russian television, and it's gruesome. And they did used to show that in Vietnam to incite the people, scare the people, incite the people. They didn't do it in World War II. I remember when reading about when Teddy Roosevelt's son was shot down. He was a fighter pilot. The Germans took pictures of him, gruesome pictures of him in the cockpit of his plane, or laying out after he expired, after he was shot down. And they were a former president's son killed in action. They took his picture and circulated it to destroy morale, and even made postcards of it, of Kermit's image. And they backed off of that because there was international outrage over that kind of stuff. But all that melted away, the dignity, the respect for the dead, protect the American psyche from traumatic images, all that was thrown out the window in the Vietnam War because they wanted us to pull out, because they agreed with Ho Chi Minh and Jane Fonda. Hi, Holo, how you doing? Yeah, money laundering is Well, I tell you, Menendez is the tip of the iceberg. Remember Menendez? He's going to be leaving Congress very soon. Or has he left already? You don't hear squat about that in the news. Gold bar Menendez and $400,000 stuffed around his house. Convicted after he went through court cases for messing with young people and got out of it. Remember that? If it was a Republican, that's all you would see and all you would hear about. That's why Mr. T said, I truly HA and then TE the media. They are truly the enemy of the people. They can do just as much damage ignoring something as they can reporting. Tim Walsh agrees to debate J.D. Vance for CBS News. Boy, I put up some slanted CBS articles last night, didn't I? See you on October 1st, J.D., the Minnesota governor wrote on social media after the network proposed 4 dates for the event. So I guess he got to pick the date. I wonder what 4 dates they put up. So he just puts up, see you on October 1st. How long is that from now? How long we got to wait for this crap? Well, Walsh is a victim now. He said people are picking on him. He said he's damn proud of his service. There it is. Victoria Coates put out an X about him. And I heard the video when it was played. Victoria Coates said, saying damn every other sentence doesn't make you a tough guy. Deploying with your unit to a combat zone might be a better choice. And Tim Walsh, that's the response to his ex saying, let me be clear, I'm damn proud of my service to this country. Well, I've already said what I thought about it. I'm not too proud of it, especially all those trips to China. And all we need is some kids to come out. But you know what? It's too dangerous. Too dangerous. I don't know when we're going to hear stuff about Walsh, but it'll come out. But you know what happens to people who try to tell tales. And Citizen Free Press said Tim Walsh threw this Minnesota small business owner, I'm looking at a picture of her, small business owner, in jail for 90 days for violating draconian COVID curfews. She says Tim Walsh is not some cuddly, joyful coach like all the things the MSM are calling him. This man would like to take your rights away. Well, throw you in jail is what he did. But, you know, she got to watch what she says, I guess, until we get past this bunch of Marxist freaks and lunatics, as Mr. T says. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And I probably will be going live tomorrow night. If you're not subscribed and you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. We'll see how it goes. If I can pop up tomorrow, I'll do it the same bat time, same bat channel. Let me see, just checking through the chats. So anyway, keep your chin up because these polls are fake. The pressure's on these people. They can't keep covering for Kamala. Something's got to give. When is the first day of the convention? Is it this Monday coming? I don't know. Gonna be some drama. We'll see. But anyway, you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. And this is Mountain Man over and out.